Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch and I'm here with my beautiful co-hosts, Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault. Good afternoon, ladies. How are you?
You too.
Monday it is here.
Just make our
is
Monday when you say that.
absolutely beautiful outside there today.
Yep.
Perfect.
Stunning. Yeah, it's going to be a great way to leave August. This week looks absolutely
I'm not ready.
beautiful.
I'm not ready. I do not want it to end. I love summer.
No, well, I'm not going to lie. I am a little looking forward to it. Kids start school next week.
You mean in other words, they're gone?
Yes, I got my girl off to university last week, at the beginning of last week, and so then next week is the next two, and so I'm sort of looking forward to a quiet home once in a blue moon when I happen to get them all out the door, and it's just me.
Well, it's busy, right? I
left
am
in the
a little
house.
bit lonesome thinking about being alone again. Jansen has his first year and he's going into his second, and I'm thinking, I miss them already.
Yeah, of course.
When they're home and you have quality time with them all summer from April until they go back in September, it's fun and there's more to cook for, and you know, they have friends in and
you
all that stuff.
feel needed.
I
and
just feel,
wanted.
I'm going to miss them.
Well, and I love the fall. I love the fall weather, and it was always, you know, a new beginning because Mom was a teacher, right? So our new year always started in September.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the fall is a really good new beginning, but I had a really good time this summer, so I really don't want it to end.
Me too.
It was gorgeous.
I had a
this
busy summer. Straight
Yeah.
out
I had a
busy.
The weather was
busy.
really nice. We did.
But I find the transition really sad. I find I get lonely in the fall. Everything seems to, like, autumn's supposed to be, and it is so beautiful, but then there's so much dying too, like, you know, the foliage and everything.
Oh, really? No, I don't look at it that way.
I get really nostalgic
I'm more
in September.
I love the colors of the fall.
I know.
I love the freshness in the air. I actually, though I hate winter and cold, the fall with that freshness and everything is, you know,
but
I really do.
It's a change.
Oh, it is a big
I
change.
just can't get used to it, and although it's beautiful, I find it lonely, the fall.
Yeah. So what happened since I saw you guys last? Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see. Well, we were even, like just so much going on.
There was.
I need me time now. I've just been reading and enjoying the last couple of days.
Well, the big thing this weekend was, of course, though I didn't sit and watch it, a huge fight.
Huge!
One that was actually scheduled, and people were actually looking forward to this big fight.
Big time, big bucks
between the
involved
Irish Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, who is a boxer, and the other one's a UFC fighter. At first, I was like, okay, is that allowed? Are you allowed to take two different types of fighter and put them together?
Yeah, they can
and
do
so
whatever they
famous,
want.
Floyd Mayweather's one of the most, you know,
He's
well-known
never lost a fight.
defensive boxers ever.
He's 50-0, yeah. He's 50-0. But you know what's amazing?
He's 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's not 50 years old.
He's 40.
No, but he won 50 fights.
No, but he's 40 years old.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's only 40. He's only 40 years old. McGregor's 29.
Okay. You know what was amazing though is Floyd Mayweather made $100 million.
Is that all?
And Conor McGregor made $80 million.
So I'd say
it was a win-win regardless.
So you know what?
Is that what you're saying?
go ahead and pound on me all you want.
That's what
I would have been down in the first round.
Beat the crap out of me. I'm walking away with 30 mil.
80.
80.
Yeah.
80. See, I can't get it. My boys went to like big gathering. They paid for it, pay-per-view, and they had a big, fun evening with about 20 guys, and the big fight, and they were right into it. But I just heard about it, and I thought that would be awesome to watch.
The highlights would have been good enough for me.
It's brutal to watch, but
I struggle watching boxing.
It's hard.
I have a hard time.
I have a hard time saying it's a sport, and I know all those sports fans out there are probably going to
Oh no, I get
hate
the
me.
sport aspect. I get the sport aspect. I just find it really brutal.
I'd have to be like really angry to go at someone like that.
Come on, Audrey.
But you know what? If somebody's pounding on you, how angry are you going to get pretty quick?
For 80 million.
$80 million.
Try to be angry.
Yeah.
I have a quote too, don't forget.
Oh, yes, that's right too. We usually start off our show with a quote of the day.
And we're talking about fighting. That's really
And we're
good.
talking about fighting. I don't know what our quote is yet.
We should have a real good cat fight in the show one day. Like,
one day.
Find
Our
something-
ratings will go through the roof.
I know, but find something that we can all totally disagree on and just go at each other like you are crazy and all, be fun. My quote for the day is to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment.
Wow.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah. It's true.
And it's true. And people
So say that again.
Yep, to
Say
be
that again, 'cause it was
yourself.
up.
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. I stay true to myself.
Yeah.
I just do not care about trying to be something I'm not or trying to emulate somebody else. I just never did, and I never will.
I think that comes with age, too.
No, I never, as a child even. I did my own thing.
Well, to me, that would have to do with your raising. I would think your
necessarily.
parents instilled that in you when you were young.
Yeah, but I'm different from my siblings. Like,
Yeah,
I have
you are.
fantastic siblings, but they're all so unique. And my sister Cailin, who's probably watching, would never feel comfortable speaking in public. She's a beautiful girl, and she certainly could, but it's not her thing. It's not her forte.
No.
And my brother, who is a sports editor, he's a gifted public speaker, but he'd rather be a writer. And you know, and then Jennifer's much like me. So I think you're born with certain traits.
True. But you can be, when you're younger, swayed and governed by those who you hang out with, your friends,
if you're shy,
which is
you're shy,
why.
though,
Yeah.
right? If you're shy, you're shy.
Yeah.
Does that change? I don't.
Yeah, you can work on that.
You can work on it for
you
sure.
You can learn coping mechanisms, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Or how to be a little bit more, like I work at home with people that want to build up their confidence, youth and adults. And I actually, you know, you can actually teach some of those things, as you said, like
the coping
icebreakers.
skills
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to be a
things
public
like that
speaker, you start off in a little room with 2 people or 3 people and give a speech, you know, and then it gradually gets bigger.
And people often think I'm making it up, but like, because of course we do live TV every week, right? And I can get up in front of 1,000 people, and I've done it. I struggle one-on-one.
One-on-one?
One-on-one. I'm quite shy with somebody that I don't know, like that I meet for the first time.
Okay.
And it's
really
in a crowd, and I'm fantastic. I have no problem.
Right.
But I struggle one-on-one
That's interesting.
with people I don't know.
I'd go up to a total stranger in the airport and say, "My God, you're good looking." No, I have. I went up to a girl the other day, and she was without doubt the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my entire life. And she was actually at our winner's store here on the river, and she was stunning. I went home and I said to my husband and family, "You should have seen this girl." And I thought, I'm going to tell her because this might be embarrassing, but I think she should walk away knowing that.
Yeah.
And I went up to her and I said, "Did you ever consider modeling?" And she said, "No, I'm too shy." And I said, "You could be making big money." Like, unbelievable. But she's missing her calling. Anyway, I think you should tell people, even if it causes embarrassment, because they should know. And always remember that they were told that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have no problem telling somebody, like, you know, if I hear something great about you, Audrey, I will tell you.
Yeah.
Or if I think something great, but myself as a person, if I didn't know you, I couldn't sit and talk to you. I'd have a hard time.
What?
It'd take me.
Well, I just talked to Audrey then.
It would take me. I get really awkward and shy because I think, well, Judy doesn't want to know what I'm saying, what I have to say.
Really? This is interesting.
No, that is.
Okay,
that
so
is.
if you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be? Don't say gorgeous and glamorous, because that's a given. Don't go on. You can't go with aesthetic stuff.
I'd have to say, for me, I'd have to say authentic.
I agree.
Like, this is me.
It's true.
This is who I am.
I agree.
You know, whether it's being a mother or an entrepreneur or a girlfriend or a wife, this is me.
I totally agree with you on that. That would be my word to describe you, too.
Thank you.
What would yours be, Vero?
It's funny because I've been thinking about it for a while. And
she winged this question before I did.
No, actually, my first word was not a positive one. But but what I've come now, since we started talking about it before we came on air, is determined.
Oh, and I would agree with you on that.
Right. Yeah. So I know that I am quite convinced that no matter that if I work long enough and hard enough, something good will come.
I know you persevere,
and I will. You know, like I will work. Right. I will work until that happens. So I'm quite determined. But that wasn't my first thought.
But resilient comes to mind when I think of you. You are tough-skinned in a world.
But see, you know what my word was originally?
What?
Beaten.
Aww.
Yeah.
That makes me
sad. And I'm better than I was, but that was the first thing that came to mind.
You're kidding.
Yeah. The last 4 years have been tougher than anybody could possibly understand.
No, I kind of understand.
And so it took it you know, because people would say, well, like, Veronique, you're always smiling, everything's so, you know, very positive, and I am. Yeah. But it took such a toll on me. It took such a toll on me that that's still the first thing that comes to mind.
And you have to put on a facade, which is not easy. And we all have our days where things aren't peachy, and we have to put on that happy face and face the world. And that's phony, but yet we don't want to bring other people down.
But it also, but the more you do, like the more I did that, the more I was able to think, okay, it's not as fake today.
Yeah.
I'm smiling a little bit more genuinely today.
It comes easier.
Yeah, like it, but I am determined. So even when things were so tough, I was determined that at some point we were gonna find a way out of it.
I love that.
It took
for
a
me,
while.
I'm a horrible liar, and I'm horrible at hiding that would be my issue, right? Kind of thing.
You
that
couldn't
there's
hide
something. No, I couldn't.
You'd be crying and you'd be distraught
I would
looking.
people would be able to tell that something is up with me. That no, there's something off. There's something bothering her.
Yeah.
That I
But
wouldn't
what's
be
your
able to
word,
hide
Judy?
it that well.
What do you think it's going to be?
No, I want to hear yours first, then I'll tell you what I think. What I think it would be.
Okay, mine's confident. I'm really confident.
True.
Yeah.
True story.
I am.
Very.
Yeah. And that's a wonderful thing.
Okay, what was your
It
word
is.
for me?
I have a couple.
Be nice. Be your first word. Be
They're
nice.
family. Can you tell they're related?
Well, like she's my niece through my husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Not blood.
No.
Okay.
But it could be a blood if we started fighting, right, Carol?
Never. Determined would be another one that I would use for you because you're so determined to see good things happen, right? For other people, for yourself, for your family, for the community. You're very determined. And you're so
Positive.
conscious, of and present. Those are two other words that I would use.
Conscious and present.
Because
so I am conscious.
Yeah.
I'm awake today.
But
I'm not
you're
just
so
propped
conscious
here.
of how other, the fact that you would tell that woman at Winners
Yeah.
because
Stranger.
you wanted something,
Yeah.
you wanted her to have something good,
Well, I hope she's still thinking about what I said.
right? So you're conscious and you're very present. You're very aware. Yeah. Those are a lot of words I
those
just said.
around you.
Those are a lot of words I
was
just said.
But yeah,
I
definitely.
love the words you chose for yourselves, though,
Thank you.
because
Thank
that's what I would have said probably too.
Yeah. No. Well, those things.
That's
To
neat.
me, I found that my word just it covered everything.
Yeah.
All the different
truth.
hats that I wear.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So last night I didn't get to watch it. Actually, it was last night. The MTV Awards, the music video awards,
Right.
And actually, Pink had some big things to say.
She did.
Talked about her daughter, and she talked about, and I love Pink, and I want to see her in concert so bad. I missed her in
too.
Quebec City, but
Me too.
I'm getting there someday.
She's definitely one I would love to see.
She's
very
authentic
entertaining.
Yeah.
and authentic.
Yep.
And
Yeah, she
so-
just doesn't. She's her.
No.
I love
She's
her, and I love her raw
And she
voice.
doesn't care what you think.
No, and she's got the feminine, masculine thing going on, which leads me to what her daughter said to her. And she gave a little pep talk on the air last night at the show. Her daughter said, "I really don't like, at 6 years old, I don't feel attractive. I don't feel pretty or whatever." And
Oh my goodness.
so she talked about androgyny, which is when your sex is indeterminate.
Yeah.
So the boy, her little girl has some features of boy and girl. So she's mixed up, and kids are being cruel to her. And she said, "You are beautiful, and you are what you are." In so many words, she said, "Take the gravel out of the shell and find the pearl."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bloom and blossom, and whatever you are, try to
Yeah.
be.
The best.
Yeah, and you are beautiful.
The best
and,
version of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
So
Wow,
Pink-
isn't that amazing?
And there was a lot of stuff about mental health and
Exactly.
acceptance and all of that.
Yep.
So it was pretty
It
interesting,
was
I
good.
guess.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Some things that are not so fabulous down in Texas. Hurricane Harvey just
Whoa.
taking them out like it's like waist high water
Well,
flooding,
not actually
severe flooding.
even more than that. I was
Insane.
looking at pictures, and I think it was from Houston, where it's
yeah.
being hit quite hard. And when you're driving on the highway, there's the directional signage, and it was almost up to the directional signage.
50 inches, wasn't it?
It was. I was just like, what's going on?
I think
insane.
Rockport had 50 inches
Did
of
they?
rain. Can you imagine?
No, I can't even.
Cars
Well, I was
floating.
looking at overpasses, and the bottom one is completely covered, and it's at the
Yeah.
bottom of the overpass.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
I'm like,
so blessed. Like,
Yeah,
we think
true.
on a bad day when our tires are going through and you're going to
No.
hydroplane, like this is bad, but we have no idea.
10 centimeters of water an hour.
Yeah.
Every hour.
They say
terrifying.
the aftermath is going to be worse than Katrina.
That's so
Which, I mean,
shame.
no.
And people
No.
are being rescued off the roof
Yeah.
because they couldn't get out of their house.
Yeah.
No,
And
exactly.
there were deaths as
They were
well.
actually trying to figure out, like, telling people not to call 911 unless it was like a life or death
Yeah.
situation. Like,
Devastating.
if you're stranded but you're somewhere safe, they were saying, don't call 911 because there's some more severe things
Yeah.
that they had to look after first. It
Yeah.
was-
Unbelievable.
it's- yeah.
It's
know.
terrifying though, because we often hear two sides of the coin, right? That climate change is a myth, and that climate change is going to blow up our world. So, but really, if you take a look at what happened, like Hurricane Katrina, now Hurricane Harvey, and everything in between, when I was a child, right? So 30 5 or whatever years ago, you never
10.
saw, sure, we'll go with that. You never saw that kind of devastation, right?
No.
So there has to be
global warming.
Exactly, there has to be
The
that
ice
effect on the
storm
climate.
that we had this year.
You know, you
this
never
winter.
saw that kind of stuff when we were younger, where you might see a tropical storm, but you were never seeing the kind of devastation that we're seeing now on a regular basis. Like, how many of these hurricanes are we seeing a year? Down south, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Constantly,
Like mass
hearing terrible
destruction
things about
in just
animals
one-
and
You know, and everybody
species.
says, global warming. Well, it's not warmer. Well, no, but you know what? There's others.
Of course, it
there's
affects
so much else
else.
going on.
No, exactly. That's just
I
it.
pray to God we don't get another ice storm though,
Oh,
because
no.
we just can't
No,
go
we're
through
still
that again.
recovering from the last one. Yeah, for sure.
Changing the subject, wasn't yesterday fun?
Yeah,
The
it
three
was.
of us, for the
Yeah.
viewers, had a shower for a friend. Like, we were attending a shower for a friend.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were having a chat.
Yeah, we
Just like the title of the show,
were,
but it was so laid back and fun, and we were talking about different
Yeah.
things and like babies
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it was almost
Yeah.
like we could have had a show at this living room we're in.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny because we don't often, we're together a lot and we're at events a lot, but we actually don't often go to
Never.
social events together
No, exactly.
where we're
Well,
actually relaxed,
Diva
right?
Diamond, we did.
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's about
but
one.
No,
but
that's
you're
just it. I
emceeing.
didn't know you guys were going to
Yeah.
be there.
I
and
didn't
walked
either.
in, and we were just like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Well, we ate fantastic food. We celebrated,
it was so
a
yummy.
mum to be, and like really.
And we were at a 50th birthday party. Veronique and I in Bathurst the day
The day
before.
before.
Oh,
for
you're kidding.
Her
Yeah.
niece and my husband's niece,
cousin,
like her cousin, sorry,
Right.
and my husband's niece as well. And I mean, it's just, you just got to celebrate those
Yeah.
big numbers, because
We had a good
reaching
time.
50 is such a privilege, really.
It is.
Well, and Judy and I
is.
got to eat all weekend without having to cook.
But no, I still had to. My guys are like, well, so what's for supper? I don't know, and I don't care because
you didn't
I
just.
ate.
I do what I did and bring cupcakes home from the baby
Yeah.
shower.
I said I
And they were
made
like,
them.
oh.
I said, you know
No,
what I
you
did
did
to
not.
Jansen? He came in, I planned it because I'm so bad. I put 3 cupcakes that they had given me in the fridge, and they were just delectable looking, right? Like
Yeah,
covered
they
with
were.
the pink icing. And so I thought, I knew he'd take one as soon as they were in the fridge. So
Yeah.
I was out, and I came in, and there was one gone. And then when he came back in and said, Jansen, I said, did you eat one of those muffins?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah? It was just so funny
Oh my
because I
God.
think he thought
Go
they were
on.
mine. He stole
Yeah.
one.
Well, that's okay.
But it was
We have a great show lined up for
We
our
do?
viewers today. We have a couple
Really
of great
interesting.
guests. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely interesting things that
Wonderful
we want to talk
guests.
about. Lily France, I believe, is going to be our first
Yep.
guest. We're going to be talking to her about a business that she opened up.
Compass.
And yeah,
Can't wait.
And talk to her a little bit on mental health and
Yes.
different things like that. And then we have Cailin O'Kane coming on afterwards
Amazing
to tell
guests.
us about his transition and what he's been through and
Yes.
and everything that goes along with
The
that.
topic is transgender, and there are
is.
so many hundreds of thousands of people that are involved in this right now and want to know more.
Exactly. So we'll be right back after the break. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat. Welcome back to more Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch. Joining us now, we have our very first guest, Lilly France. Hello, Lily. How are you?
Hello,
Well-
great. How are you?
Welcome.
Thanks
for joining us today.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure.
You're here to talk to us a little bit about mental health and the business that you've created. Tell us a little bit first about yourself and how this all came about.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a completely different background than what I'm currently working in. So I've done, I did a background in theater. That's what I went to school for, and taught theater out in Whistler, BC for a while.
Lucky you.
It was amazing.
Oh, I love Whistler.
She's a wonderful actress. She was just in Stillwater.
I told her
really?
before she
Thank
came on
you.
how fantastic that play was, and you did
Thank
a
you.
stellar job.
That was, I mean, I've been in probably close to 40-some plays at this point, and I think Stillwater will always be one of the ones that sticks with me for the rest of my life because it had to do with mental health.
And thanks
It
to
was-
Sam Kroll for writing that,
Yes,
right?
him and his mother,
And his mom.
Heather,
Amazing.
You must
were
have found it a
incredible.
little draining, though.
Actually, we joked about that a
Wow.
lot because we said, why did you think it was a good idea again to have a cast of all people who were dealing with mental health issues to a
Wonderful.
play about mental health?
No, it was so
But it made it
educational.
real.
Yeah.
It made it very real for us, and
That's
it made
right.
it relatable, and it was easier for us to to let the message kind of shine through the play.
Well, you could draw on your experiences and what you've been through to make it that much more real.
Exactly.
Oh, it was well done. Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, so that's kind of where my journey started after I graduated high school. And then I started working in an alternative learning school and got to see little glimpses of what mental health issues looked like, though I had no idea that that's really what was going on at the time. And then after a few years of that and traveling through Toronto and doing music for quite some time, I ended up back in Miramichi and getting diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and then I have undiagnosed PTSD as well.
Oh, Lily,
right.
You got a heavy load there.
So that was a surprise because you think, you know, I went in thinking that I had heart issues or that I had something wrong with my thyroid gland, which you find out is actually very common. It's the first thing that people think of because a panic attack feels like a heart attack.
Aww.
So the first thing you think of is I'm having a heart attack and I'm dying when you have your first panic
Palpitations,
attack.
just heavy pounding heart
you can't
and
breathe,
sweating.
It's a panic, you're sweating, you can't concentrate, your vision goes in and out. It's different for everybody, don't get me wrong. So you can't base one person's panic attack on that, but that's how mine was.
Well, just can I ask you how you come out of your panic attack? Like, what were your coping methods?
Well, it took me a long time to get to that point because originally my first one, and it lasted about 12 and a half hours. And a lot of people, a lot of doctors used to tell me, well, don't worry because a panic attack can only last like up to 45 minutes before your body runs out of energy. Well, it can, but then it can take a 2-minute break and start up again, you know? So I had that going on for 12 and a half hours in my first episode.
Were you alone?
I was at first, and it was the middle of the night, so I was by myself. And I live by myself with a small dog, and I'm actually getting him to do his service training because of how he reacted in the situation.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he brought me his leash, which meant I knew I had to go outside, and he led me to my car so that I would go get help.
That's
and you know, that's dogs get it. Animals are a whole other subject. I'll come back for another show for that. But
no, but you're so one of many that is affected with mental health issue.
That's the thing.
So many out there that can relate to you.
And coping is different for everyone. So I didn't learn how to cope with my panic attacks or eventually my depressive episodes until much later on. So I'm lucky enough that I did get to where I am right now, but there are a lot of people who are dealing with it today who haven't found their coping mechanisms. For me, it was being diagnosed.
Yeah, of course.
Once I got diagnosed, it started helping, and I
because you knew what it was then, right?
Yes.
It's like I can face it. I know. I see it now. I
try to get help for it.
It's not a heart problem. It's not a thyroid gland. It's a mental health problem.
Right.
And I'm for those who know me, my friends at home, they all know this already. I'm very open with talking about the fact that I take medication for my mental illness.
Of course.
And I joke all the time. I say I'm like 25 going on 90 because I have this like pill box and it just like it's, you know, but
you're an achiever. Look at you.
That has made me, that has made me persevere and get
Well, now
through
you're
a
the
lot.
founder and owner of Compass Home and Heart.
Yeah.
Right, which is in Moncton. It's situated in
It
Moncton.
is the physical
now,
location.
And I'm assuming that your episodes there and your healing, this business came about because of that. Tell us.
It did, yeah. So I ended up actually staying in the psychiatric unit at the hospital twice because my medications were not working for me.
Okay.
And you know, there's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about when it comes to anxiety attacks and depressive episodes, where you know I got to a point where some days I would wake up and I'd be fine, and I would make my way down the stairs, and then I would see a carpet that I knew I had had an anxiety attack on.
Aww.
And all of a sudden I would find myself laying down on that carpet for 5, 6, 7 hours, not able to move. So when I got to that point, and when I started telling my mom about it and telling some of my friends, that's when it got to a point where it was, okay, now you need to go to the hospital and get your medication changed because
of
you
course.
know
It's something
obviously
you can't
it's
control,
not
right?
helping.
It's a chemical thing. It's not like you can say, okay, today I think I'm going to be strong, but then something spurs that, like the carpet, and you're out of control.
And you're gone. And that's the other thing that a lot of people don't talk about is there is no shame in taking medicine because it is a chemical imbalance in your brain, you know?
Yeah, totally.
In my case, there was not enough serotonin being produced. So serotonin is the element essentially that causes and creates joy in a person.
Right.
There's also dopamine, which I believe is the feeling of satisfaction of having accomplished something. So for me, those two chemicals just basically were not being received properly in my brain. So the medication that I was eventually placed on, I did 2 stays at the hospital, and it was on the second stay that I knew within the first 2 days things are getting better, things are going to be okay.
Yes.
And I remember telling one of the nurses, I said, when I leave here, I'm going to open up a store. I'm going to open up somewhere that people who wake up and feel like they have nowhere to go that day can wake up and go to. And whether it's to sit down and have a coffee, or it's to lie down and take a nap on a couch, or it's to, you know,
hug each other. I want to cry right now because I'm getting really emotional because you're just so there for people and you have the need to help other people, and that's making me really almost cry.
Well, that was something, and that's something that I've always wanted to do, was to help people. I always knew that, and no matter what career I was going to end up in, I wanted to find a way to help people.
Did you find that lacked yourself when you were going through those things, that I wish I had a place like that to go to
Big
at
time.
the time?
Big time. And it's not to say that there's an issue with Miramichi, but it was an issue with me not finding the right places for me to go.
Sure.
So I decided to create that place. So now Compass is located in Moncton on 108 High Street, and it's all of my dreams come true, basically.
That's wonderful.
So
Lily.
it's a retail store where it's a not-for-profit. So any of the money that comes back from anybody coming in to shop for shoes, clothing, books, whatever it is, that money comes back in to offer workshops and support groups and event nights.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is this a place where
Amazing.
you can get information on how to get help and the different types of help that are out there?
Absolutely, and that's another thing. I want to build a partnership with the other coordinators in the town that are able to offer the help that I can help, because I'm not a counselor. All I can do is listen and talk about experiences that I've also had.
Empathy is a huge thing.
Right, which is
like you can relate to people, and that's so important. Like I can't relate to you. So for me to have experience what you have and be able to say, Lily, this is what I'm feeling, you can say, I know.
Yeah.
Do you know that's so important
Well, I think
for
there's
people
such
that
a
need
stigma
that.
to walking into a clinic that says mental health. People tend to just want to stay away from that.
Well, there's a
but if she
stigma
can
in
step
general.
into,
Right, there's a stigma in general, because you know, if Lily had said to, if Lily had been diagnosed with diabetes or cancer or whatever it may be, she wouldn't have hesitated, right? There would have been 100 people there to help her.
And
she thought she was having a heart attack. She went right straight to the doctor.
Right, and there would have been 100 people there to help her, and rightfully so. But what tends to happen when you say, well, you know, I've been diagnosed with anxiety, I've been diagnosed with whatever it may be, schizophrenia, whatever, everybody goes, oh.
There's a disconnect. There's a
right?
fear.
They don't know how to deal with it. That's why.
No.
Well, because everything you see in the media and in movies and stuff, it's that negative. The person who is, you know, violent and angry and they have schizophrenia, right? Or they're shouting incoherently on the street corner. They have mental illness.
People judge.
So that's the only thing that people can relate to. So when you see somebody that you see every day, and all of a sudden they say, you know what, I have mental health issues. They're like, oh, is she going to lose it in front of me? What's going to happen?
Well, and I've had a conversation not very long ago, just a few days ago, that there's such an expectation almost, because I'll say, oh, I deal with depression. So when I say depression, the first thing somebody tells me is, oh, but everything's going so well for you.
And you seem so happy.
You're always so happy, and you're always so chatty, and you're social. You've done theater. How do you have anxiety?
Yeah. What they think depression looks like is
just not being able to get off the couch.
Right. And you know what?
And crying
I
all the
have
time.
those days.
That was in the play too, and that kind of was like, oh, whoa, I bet you some of these kids have either related to this or, you know, they're trying to tell other people what can happen, that you can't get out of bed. You just can't function.
Ironically, and this is something that, you know, I didn't think was going to be brought up, and I haven't spoken about it, but there was one night while we were rehearsing for the play that we had heard the stage bed was taken down, and it was on the front, and we were just having a conversation about how the play was going, and it was just a few days away from the big show, and everybody was talking about how they were feeling. We did check-ins and check-outs, and all of a sudden I explained it as a light switch. So all of a sudden it's almost like it just goes dark, and I just laid down. I was sitting on the mattress, and I laid down, and I wasn't able to get off of the mattress. I just started to cry. I don't know why. I was overwhelmed, and the other thing is your brain with mental illness can take excitement as a negative thing, and can throw you into an anxiety attack or into a depressive attack.
That's very interesting.
So what I like too is that when we were chatting a little bit before we came on the show, that you said that this business also brings awareness to poverty and homelessness. And I'm going to say that LGBTQ as well, which you were telling me is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, for those issues as well.
Yeah,
this is a safe place for them.
A lot of people who are in those categories, those groups of people, deal with mental health issues on top of the other issues that they're facing in life.
Exactly.
And I have friends that fit in all of those categories, and I fit in some of them, you know? So it didn't seem right for me to just say mental health, because a lot of people who are in those different groups sometimes aren't aware that they're dealing with a mental health issue on top of what they're actually going through. You know, you can't let mental health be overshadowed either. You have to be able to eventually learn to acknowledge it and take care of it. So it was very important for me to have events that are open to these communities as well. And as you said, to not have, you know, it's not called Compass Home and Heart Mental Health Clinic or Mental Health Building, because it's more than that. It's so much more than that.
So your store opens this week?
It does.
Big opening.
So tell everybody. Tell everybody what day it opens.
So the soft launch is going to be on September 1st, and the official launch, so from September 2nd onwards, it is open. And I'm super excited. I've been pairing up with some incredible people. All of my retailers have been women. It's all Canadian women so far, who are either dealing with mental illness or who have been affected by mental illness, or just make materials that help support mental health. So
you've made so many friends by being open about your situation.
It has completely
people
changed
gravitate
my life.
towards you when you're open. They're not trying to pry, because there's nothing to pry about. You're right on the table.
Yeah, I've hidden absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And my mother has been incredible in this, because I've told her, when you see me have an anxiety attack or a depressive episode, start recording me.
She is incredible. Your mom.
So your mom's amazing anyway.
A wonderful support system. You have your friends, you have your family, you have people that love you, so they're there for you, which is a big thing when you're going through all that.
How do we get a hold of you?
The best way is to do it through the Facebook page, which is Compass Home and Heart. You can do it through there, or through my work Facebook page, which is Lilly France.
Lilly France.
Yeah, those are the easiest ways, because a lot of it is confidential. I want them to be able to message me on Facebook and talk about their issues.
Right.
Because, you know, the store is going to be a store. There's going to be people in there. So I can't promise that I'm going to be able to shut a door and have some one-on-one chatting time. And then I'm big on pushing self-care on people, so I have to do it for myself too. So there are, you know, hours in the day where I'm going to say, well, the store is now closed, so I need to go home and take a bath, or
what a great
hang out
advocate
with
for
my
mental
dog.
health, though. I'm so proud of you, Lilly.
Thank you.
And the people are so going to benefit from having that place to go, and then it's going to benefit the profits in the right direction. It's a win-win. And you're happy, and that makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's been a life-changing experience, and you know, mental health issue is not something that you want to ever wish upon someone.
I hear that all the time with people. Don't you?
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But that being said, my best self is right now. It's a whole new life for me to be able to accept that, and to help other people learn to accept it.
New
as well.
chapter, new beginning.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I think
exactly
it's a big deal to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah,
right? That they're not alone in this, that it's actually a lot more widespread than we think it is, and that there is help out there for everyone. So you have a Facebook page. So do you necessarily, would I actually have to like the page in order to see any information or to message you? Or
no,
how
everything is on there.
Okay.
Another option is if somebody really wanted to be anonymous and just wanted to reach out, you can always reach me at my email, which is lilyfrancemh@gmail.com.
Okay, Lily France,
MH for mental health.
Okay.
Gmail.com.
Yeah, so that way at least, you know, if they want to create an email address that doesn't contain their name or information, you can go ahead and do that. Again, I'm not licensed or I'm not a professional counselor. I'm not, you know, so I can only go to a certain extent and chat essentially about what's going on.
But you can guide them because you have gotten all the information and the different, you have the connections, and you would be able to direct them.
And the experiences, you can talk about anxiety, you can talk about depression, you can talk about struggling and coping and all that stuff. It's real for you, so you can share that. And help others.
Yeah, well, we want to thank you so much, Lily, for joining us today and talking to us about this very, very important subject that we hope a lot of our viewers have gotten some great information from that. We are about to take our next break. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful information.
Okay, we'll be back right after the break. Don't go away. We're back with more Have a Chat. We were just chatting with a great guest, Lily France. Amazing. I just want to touch base on her Facebook page for the Compass Home and Heart. To our viewers that got a chance to check that out, go to her Facebook page and get all the information there. I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful place for people to get the help that they need and feel comfortable, for sure.
I'm so excited for her. Okay.
Up next, we want to welcome our next guest, Cailin O'Kane. Hello, how are you?
Cailin.
Thanks for joining us today. You're here to talk to us a little bit about yourself and the whole situation with transgender and the fact that you're going through that yourself. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Well, my name is Cailin O'Kane. I was born and raised in Miramichi.
Yay!
I know, I'm proud.
I get all excited. I don't know why.
Well, it's just
homegrown,
right? And I've known you for a long time, actually.
40 years.
I still don't believe it.
I know, he does not look.
No.
You're right.
40.
I get my looks after my mother, I guess. She's young looking too. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and she was on the show.
She's a beautiful woman.
Right.
Yeah, she was on the show last fall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. And I've known Cailin for a long, long time, but the changes that have come is making me get to know you all over again in a new way.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I actually currently work, I'm an assistant store manager at Walmart in Miramichi. I come from Sobeys. I worked at Sobeys for 22 years.
Oh, they miss you.
I think most people, if they had bumped into you, that's where it was.
Yeah.
Well, you're a real worker too. Like
well,
anyone knows you, you know you get the job done because I'd count on Cailin if I went to go anything. He's just right there.
Yeah. Well, you were there when the big reno.
Yes.
When they went from the small Sobeys to the big Sobeys.
That's actually where I started off. I was 18 years old. I started in the new store, the old store. So I've kind of seen a lot of transitions, and from there on, I did a lot of store openings. Whether it was in Newfoundland, I went to store openings. Moncton.
They sent you? You're the one.
Yeah, they sent me there.
You
so
just
I did.
get it done. You're reliable. No, you're a worker.
Cailin doesn't remember, but we played softball together.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the Fusion Festival years ago.
Okay, was it with Sobeys?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did you get home runs all the time? Or?
And Dad actually played with you guys too.
That's cool. I remember that now.
Yeah, we actually, I think there one year we actually won it. Sobeys team won the Fusion.
I do remember that, you know.
Yeah, that was
I think I co-chaired it that year or something.
Yeah, I'm a ball player for sure.
But we're really interested in you. I was after you for a long time to come and on the show and talk about the whole situation of those individuals that are just not happy being the gender that they were at birth. So we're going to go right to it.
Sure.
Because at one point you were female.
Yep.
And now look at you.
So you're transitioning, is that correct?
Yes, I'm transitioning.
You must be almost there.
Well, it's been a year. I started the whole process, so it's doesn't just happen all at once. It's a process you got to go through. Whether it's through counseling, you have to get counseling.
That's true.
Then there's doctors' appointments and stuff like that. So, and I mean that's the rest of your life, right? It's not just okay. I'm gonna.
You woke up one morning and you were like,
no, it's a process.
That's not how it started.
No, it's always, you start from one thing and you gradually go up into it. And I mean, it's a lifetime thing, right? So it's not just something that's going to, I'm into it for a year that I'm done.
But you're one good-looking guy.
Well,
and they laugh at me because I say it straight up what I think. How handsome is he?
Judy was saying that before we were on camera.
It's true. I just tell people what I think. Like, gorgeous.
And
well, we want you to take us back to when you were younger.
Okay,
when you were a child, because I'm asking the questions of those who don't know anybody in this area that would be going through that and would have questions.
But you know what, though, you know what though, not too long ago, probably about a month or so ago, I was talking to somebody and I said, I don't know anybody that's transgender. No, actually it would have been 6 months ago. I said, I don't know anybody that's transgender. No. And then I got thinking about it. I'm like, yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
It's
and
more
then there was
more
this one,
prevalent.
and I'm like, oh, that's right. But probably people don't realize that they do know people that are transgender.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important, and that's why I was excited that you were coming on the show, is to start talking about it more.
Well, that's exactly like Lilly did with mental health. We have to know the facts and what
some people are thinking. Well, this person's a lesbian or this person's gay. What is the difference between that and the fact that someone's transgender?
Oh, there's so many things to
factor. It's that box, right? You got to fit into a box.
Right? So you are 40 now.
I'm 40.
And I've known you for a long time. So my question first of all is, when did you realize that you were not happy being the person that you were, the sex that you were?
I'm going to say I had different in my brain, different things when I was younger. So I'd go from, being a girl, and then I'd be, I don't want to be a girl anymore, and then I'd want to be a boy. And then it fluctuated.
Right.
Probably when I turned 28 is when I went to just wearing men's clothes.
You just one day said, I don't want to hide this anymore. I want to be a guy, and I'm going to be a guy.
Because this is what you felt comfortable.
Yes, but I didn't identify as a male then. I still identified as female.
Okay.
In the community, in my brain, it was I didn't want to be a female.
Did it take you a little while to come to grips with it and say, I'm going to tell people now?
Actually, last year.
Really?
Yes, last year. I had a lot of support through my my wife-to-be, Cindy's. She's really helped me a lot. And
beautiful
when
lady.
I brought this up to her, she was like, you know what? She said, I totally support whatever you want to do. So, I mean, it helps to have people in the community that will support you, as opposed to, being on your own, which there is a lot of people that is on their own. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know who to talk to.
No, they don't have friends to start with. Like, you have a great network of friends.
Well,
you've been in this community so long that people know who you are and they love you for who you are, no matter what you decide to choose to be.
I had a few, I've talked in a few schools.
Good.
I had a couple teachers come to me, and I talked in James M. Hill and MDHS. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so I talked to a group of students there. So there was.
Wow. You should do more of that.
Hey, I'm
I can't imagine the mental war that was going on in your head, and then to live and work your day to day, but yet have that mental struggle.
Well, it's hard. It is a mental thing, right? It's something that you have to. It is a mental thing, and I've struggled with it for years. Did I talk about it? No, I never talked about it. I kept it inside because back then it's tough to talk about back then because it's not an open process. When I was say 12, 13 years old,
we just didn't know anybody. It wasn't nobody talked about it. There was nobody that you couldn't identify with anybody.
No,
right?
No.
Yeah, so I can imagine it must have been difficult.
Now it's more open. Well, not so much open, but it's more talked about. There's more people coming out and living their life and stuff.
It must feel like a big
it does feel good.
There and be yourself.
Yeah, it does feel good. It feels really good.
Well, when you were younger, and you always dated women, correct? Or
yeah, my first relationships were probably when I was 21. Was when I started. I was married to a man before. I will say that. Yes.
Okay.
I was when I was younger. I was 20.
Oh wow.
I got with him. But then you had my first experience when I was like, I knew right from then
This
on.
isn't the way it's supposed to be going.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't what it was supposed to be like. So
this is not the way it's supposed to be happening.
And from then on, I said, I'm going to live my life for me, nobody else.
You have to. You're still young.
Well, yeah.
Right now, you're getting married and you're happy. And
yes.
So, are you content right now as to being the Cailin you want to be, or do you still have?
There's still some stuff I have to sort through.
You're still working through.
Yeah.
So you talked about the psychological aspect, which is huge.
Yep.
So did you initially have to go for psychological, like work and counseling, and they have to determine like how your feelings and?
Well, I had to go. Actually, I went to mental health.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a lady there. Her name was Lynn Gadet, I believe.
Good.
And so she helped me along with that way. And I went from there, and she got in contact with, it's called Clinic 554 in Fredericton.
Okay.
So there's actually, the doctor there is actually transgender too. So it really helps, yeah. So
totally helps.
Yeah. So she got me in to talk to him, and then I seen him, and he got me started on my way a year ago.
Wow.
So is it really a man's world? I just gotta know.
It's a man's world.
Like seriously.
I'm convinced it is.
You are happy, and like, is there anything, like I said, other issues that you're struggling with right now? Like, do you find at times you're still, I don't know, like, what's your biggest fight right now, Cailin? Inner fight or inner, like, I don't know, in your brain, things that go through your head.
Well, there's still some surgeries that I have to do, which, you know,
is big.
That you're interested in doing.
Yes.
And scary.
Going that far, because not everybody takes it that far.
That's the thing, right? There's, because transitioning is different for everybody, right?
Yes.
So some people transition in parts, and then that's where they stop, and then some people transition completely, right?
Yes. Yep. And I've had a surgery already. I've had, you know, my top surgery done already.
And your voice has come a long way.
And it's deep.
Like since I last talked to you, though, it's really like I could see you must be very happy about that.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing people notice.
Yeah. And you work out all the time.
Yeah, I go to the gym 4 days a week, and.
Me too.
Okay, but we need to do that anyway, Judy.
I'm doing that too.
Except for last week, I only got there once, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's that. Everything is in different, like everybody's different, right? So transitioning for everybody is different. Like you and somebody else don't transition the same way.
No, I mean there's some people that just dress with the opposite sex they want to go to. They'll just dress as whether it's a man that wants to be a woman, dresses in woman's clothes.
Is that a cross-dresser then?
What do you call that anymore?
What? I'm so mixed
There's
up
so
with the
many
terminology.
titles.
I don't think they call that.
I'm going to get
Are you
lost.
familiar with all the terminology these days?
Yeah, there's cross-dressers.
And what's pansexual?
Pansexual is a person that is in love with the person, not their sex.
I totally agree. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And that's the situation with you and your wife.
Yes, she fell in love with me for me. I mean, she fell in love with me as somewhat of a female, I guess.
At the time.
As a wonderful person.
Yes. So I mean, that's to me is grateful because I get to marry this woman that's been so supportive.
Happy.
So yeah, it's very, very good. So very happy.
Like pansexual was a new word for me.
Yeah, actually, it's just out.
I just heard it today.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just heard it today.
Mine wasn't as new, but I find I have to Google a lot now.
Yeah.
Right, because I want to understand.
You want to learn.
Well, I Google a lot of stuff. I Google a lot of terminology just so if someone has questions for me, I can actually answer them correctly.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
Exactly.
Do you okay, so that leads to this question then. Do you find like a lot of people just want to know, like they want to understand, and
I have
asking you?
so many people ask me questions. They're like, Cailin, I have a question for you, but you don't have to answer as like ask away.
And I say that to people too. I'm like, you don't have to.
It doesn't matter what the question is.
I'm very open with it. I love that about you.
I'm very open.
Is that through a desire to have people understand better?
I want them to understand, and I want to help.
Yeah.
So
when you go to the schools, you must really feel good when you see kids that you know are not happy with who they are.
Oh, definitely.
And are they young when they come to you? Have you had experiences where young children in the schools or just in the community come to you and say, I'm like you. I know that I want to be a guy someday, and I know I want to be a girl someday.
Yeah, I've had, there's a couple people at the MVHS school, one of them being, he's already into it. Okay. So there is a couple.
You kind of
and I've had, I don't know the younger kids, but there are 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds that are going through it.
Of course there are. You read about them. And what breaks my heart is the struggle and the suicidal ideations they even have because they don't want to come out. They don't want, they're not happy in their body.
Or their parents are not
painful.
supportive and don't understand it.
It's got to be the worst situation.
Me being a transgendered male, and if I had a child, which I don't have kids, but if I had a child that come to me and said, I don't want to be in this, even me being me, I would understand this is a process for someone. So it's hard to take in as your child, not being, like, I mean, my parents know me for 40 years as being, or 39 years being a female.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they have to adjust to me being something else, it's hard. I get it.
I know that. But I get it, because there'd be nothing in the world to me worse than going through life as being like, I don't want to be who I am.
Yep.
And there was something I had written down, I don't even know where it is, but this woman had said, well, God doesn't make mistakes. He made you a guy. And the response was, well, maybe God wanted us to learn more and did this on purpose to learn to be more accepting.
Exactly.
Don't you think that's a good comeback?
If God doesn't make mistakes, then that isn't a mistake that Cailin feels this way.
No.
But
right?
That's true,
that's right.
Her feelings and things that are coming from inside are genuine.
Yeah,
they're real.
people
they're
make
not
their
coming
snarky
from
comments.
nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Kind of thing, because there are lesbian couples who where one of the partners does not feel the need to transgender.
Right.
They both want to be feminine and female, and yet they are a couple.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then there's those who have a deeper feeling that transition will make them more true to who they feel like they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
There's just a whole lot of confusion though about sexuality in general, because like I was asking you one time like about the gay part. Okay, so you are attracted just totally to women. Obviously, you're getting married to a woman.
Yes.
But at one point, you were not sure. Like
the thing is with me, I did what I was supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
at that point. Yeah.
I did what society wanted me to do. Not what I wanted to do in my heart.
That's
so
sad.
that's
Because you looked in the mirror and technically you had all the girl parts.
Gorgeous.
So
She was
that's
gorgeous.
what's supposed
He
to
was
be.
a gorgeous girl. He is a gorgeous guy, and he was a gorgeous. You know what? You just can't take it away from Cailin.
No.
But you know what though, and because I've had this conversation with other people who are gay, and somebody said to me, well, like how do you know that you liked girls? Just as I am just as convinced that I like guys, right?
Yes.
I know it for a fact.
Yeah.
Cailin knew
Yeah.
that you liked girls, right? I mean, for a fact you knew it.
Yeah.
So there's no difference in, in
I think social media is a huge thing for the younger generation to question what they are.
Yeah.
Huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think social media is creating more. I'm thinking more people who think that they're transgender. I think it's just becoming that opportunity to now be brave enough to talk about it.
Well, my whole thing is to when let's just say you're 9 or 10 years old, okay, and you want to transgender, and I think some kids do go through a phase. That's why doctors opt not to want to start like the testosterone on young kids, because sometimes it is a phase. And once you start these hormones, it's life. Like,
there's no.
if I was to go off them right now, I would not lose any of what I have.
Oh, okay.
I would probably maybe not be as bulky.
Okay.
But the hair in my face and
you would keep those.
Everything would stay. My voice would not change any. It would stay
really
the same
interesting.
thing. So,
What have you learned the most from this whole experience of transitioning? What would you say, like what message do you want to get out there?
I just want people that go through what I went through to be happy and live your life. If it's your dream to be who you want to be, you have to be it. You only live in this world once, and live your life to the fullest. You have to be true to yourself. Yeah.
What do you think of Caitlyn Jenner?
I think it's great.
Yeah. Like he became she and is totally happy, and like I just idolized when he was in the Olympics, Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
But I have accepted that I'm so happy when I see other people be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And Cher's son,
Chaz,
is happily married to a woman. She's a school teacher, and he's all male. Yeah. And he knew from the time he was 3 or 4 that he didn't want to be in dresses and did not want, like he hated them. Right. He said, I don't like this, and she knew that she wanted to become a male, and she certainly succeeded in being a great male.
Yeah.
And Cher's totally accepting too.
And that's great. And that's where it stems from, right? If you have, whether it's friends, family, whatever, if they're your 100% supporters, that helps you too to get through it.
That makes a big difference.
Right? Have you seen a shift though in some of your friendships?
None.
Good. See?
Really?
True blue.
That's amazing.
None. I've never had anybody. Now, to my face, I don't know what's said behind. I don't know what's said.
We all worry about that.
No, I don't know what's said behind my back, but I've never, since even I've been that, I've never been a bully, never been bullied at all. So.
Okay. We want to thank you so much for joining us today, Cailin, and filling us all in and helping us understand, for sure.
Anytime.
And thank you to our viewers for watching today. Hopefully you'll be back. To see more, check us out on our Facebook page. Thank you again for joining us at Have a Chat.
Thank you.
Take care.